Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to the Lesbian News. Our top stories and headlines today are the L Word Generation Q Season 3 coming soon. Station 19 continues its tailspin with Maya and Carina and tries to throw the lesbians a literal bone. Grey's Anatomy is gearing up for its unbelievable and trailblazing 400th episode. Will we see any familiar faces return? Hacks Season 2 is almost here. Jennifer Beals continues her role as evil straight Bette Porter on Law & Order, and she shows up with a familiar face on Instagram. And lesbians feature at the heart of new shows, Conversations with Friends, and Heartstoppers, and the new season of Stranger Things. All that and more coming up on the Lesbian News. Welcome back to the Lesbian News. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've finally made it through the drought of L Word season, and we're coming out on the other side. Season 3 is already underway with the writers back in the writing room. They're working on scripts for the second episode while finishing out the first. The writers are hoping to have episodes 1 through 5 squared away in the script department before the cast return next month. Once the cast returns, the writers will make a start on the scripts for the second half of the season. The crew will be returning at the end of the month and making sure cameras are built and tested, sets are lit, wardrobe and everything else is set for the cast returning in June. Once the cast returns in June, they'll be having wardrobe fittings, table reads, and then hopefully going into filming, where we'll hope to be getting some good behind-the-scenes pictures and news. Make sure that you stay tuned to the Lesbian News to get all the updates on filming for Season 3 of the L Word Generation Q. Station 19 continues its decimation of one of the best women-loving women couples on primetime TV. Last week, Station 19 returned from its final hiatus of the season and tried to distract us with a very hot Maya and Carina scene. Although nothing could distract from the distasteful lines,
and I'll be turning on my wife so that her cervix opens up, in fact.
Who needs porn?
No, don't like that.
And the fact that they've brought a man into their relationship.
God! No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Station 19's ratings dropped significantly last week. Could it possibly be lesbians and bisexuals leaving in droves? Station 19's penultimate episode airs this week, followed by the finale next Thursday. Grey's Anatomy is gearing up for its 400th episode in 2 weeks. Will we possibly see the return of some Grey's favorites? Of course, women-loving women are hoping for the return of Cali and Arizona. Jessica Capshaw was spotted on set several weeks ago and was spotted in New York last week. Of course, New York is where Cali and Arizona are allegedly living, so is this a happy coincidence or does it mean something? Tune in to the Grey's Anatomy 2-hour finale on May 26th to find out. Hacks, one of the best shows on television, is returning to HBO Max next week on May 12th. Hacks has some great bisexual representation, and with Laurie Metcalf joining the cast, I cannot wait to see what they deliver. And before the rest of our stories, let's check in with the Lesbian News' chief meteorologist, Miss G. G, how's the weather looking? Because I'm getting on the boat this weekend. Thanks, G. On to the rest of our stories. Jennifer Beals continues her role on Law & Order Organized Crime as evil straight Bette Porter.
Can't help it, really? That's funny. The police never used to be a problem. think this is outrageous.
The show is still filming for the season, and it looks like we're going to be able to enjoy a little more Jennifer Beals this season. Jennifer Beals also posted on Instagram when she was hanging out with Ilene Chaiken. Of course, Chaiken was the former showrunner of Law & Order: Organised Crime and the former showrunner of The L Word. The two ladies were previously producing The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but now that Netflix has snapped up those rights, it doesn't look like they're attached to the project any longer. Maybe they were discussing a new project, or they could have been talking The L Word Generation Q. We'll just have to wait and see. Some other women-loving women shows to look forward to this month. Conversations with Friends is coming out next week on May 15th. You can catch the show on Hulu in the US and BBC in the UK. Or if you're in any of the other countries and want to catch the show, or if you're in the US and you don't want to pay for Hulu, make sure to get yourself a VPN and then you can watch the show for free on BBC. Feel free to use the Lesbian News' official VPN that's linked in the description box and the comments below. Conversations with Friends follows a women-loving women couple who split up and then each get involved with one half of a heterosexual couple. The show comes out on May 15th in both the US and the UK. Another show with some women-loving women content is Stranger Things. Of course, at the end of season 2, one of the characters, Robin, came out. So hopefully we'll see her spreading her lesbian wings in part 1 of Stranger Things when it's released on May 27th on Netflix. And for our final story, we're going to hit a bit closer to home. And I don't mean your home, loyal viewer, I mean the Lesbian News' home. You see, the Lesbian News is filmed in probably the most ironic place in the world, the Isle of Man. Unfortunately, there is no Isle of Woman for us to film on, but a member of this tiny island is actually starring in one of Netflix's new queer shows, Heartstopper. Heartstopper focuses on a gay kid at a high school who begins a relationship with a jock. There's also a lesbian couple featured, so make sure you catch Heartstopper. It's out on Netflix right now. And that's all we've got time for today here at the Lesbian News. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you back here next week for the latest and greatest in women-loving women news. From everyone here at the studio, Miss G and myself, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.